Hi everybody, welcome to Nosto's Social Commerce Week, and more specifically to Olapic's webinar. As you might know, Nosto has recently launched an integration with Olapic platform, allowing simple UGC activation across product recommendation, emails, and Facebook and Instagram ads. Today, we would like to walk you through some winning visual marketing strategies that we have seen across our clients. For those who don't know Olapic, we are a Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest marketing partner, and we have been helping brands with their visual content for the last 8 years through technology and expertise. Before going further, let me present myself. I'm Elise Ogard, and I'm heading partnership activities at Olapic in EMEA. I'm working very closely to Facebook and the whole ecosystem of partners like Nosto. A couple of housekeeping rules for smooth progress of the webinar. Please stay in listen-only mode. For asking questions, please use the Q&A feature and they will be answered at the end of the webinar. Feel free to tweet using @Olapic or quote us using #Olapic or #Olasays for anything interesting you are hearing during this webinar that you would like to share. For today's agenda, we'll be starting with brushing a quick landscape of the visual content opportunity, followed by client examples that have done outstanding multi-channel activation with user-generated content. To finish with, we'll be talking about why you should go the extra mile, creating mobile-friendly videos from your existing assets. Let's get started with the visual content opportunity. As you know, the customer journey has dramatically changed over the last decades, from being brand-led to be consumer-led. As you can see here, consumers want to be in charge of their own brand experience and are taking the lead in discovering products through a multitude of different channels, with 70% of them leading their own shopping journey and only 30% of consumers getting their initial inspiration from a brand's advertisement. We actually have also learned from Pinterest that 97% of their top searches in their platform are unbranded, usually users looking to solve a problem and are open to any potential sources for a solution. This is important to remember as a brand because it's critical to ensure your brand is providing the inspiration your customer need at the start of their journey. So what inspiration and content is your brand providing to be part of the conversation? And most so, is your content fitting in today's digital environment? Modern consumers have a shorter attention spans, around 8 seconds. Are you potentially losing customers due to long touch points, or are you finding ways to keep them involved? The time spent online is growing, for an average person spending more than 5 hours per day online. Are you ensuring your message is communicated consistently every time? The average consumer now has 7.2 digital devices at home. Are you fully available across the ones they use? These are questions worth thinking about in order to keep your consumers engaged. And needless to say, it is time for brands to adapt to this more complicated landscape. The variety of combination of channel, time, place, person within the buying journey creates hundreds of different touchpoints, and therefore opportunities for a brand to engage consumers. However, with multiple and repeat touchpoints, it can be hard to consistently create engaging visuals that maximize the impact of a connection every time. So how can brands create and scale content quickly and cost-effectively? Well, by developing a holistic visual content strategy that embraces consumer-generated, influencer-generated, and brand-generated content at the right touchpoints. While we can't stop consumers from shifting in and out of the various steps of the journey, we can control consistency in the experience through providing more relevant, personalized, and engaging content. By being across all the channels your customers are, you can enable a better experience that can increase the likelihood to purchase. And at Olapic, we provide design assets, technology, and expertise that help your brand access and create beautiful, authentic, and impactful content that your customer will engage with. So let's now talk more specifically about the customer-generated content. also called user-generated content or UGC, and go through some specific brand examples who have developed and executed a strong omni-channel UGC strategy, delivering a consistent brand image while delivering an authentic and personalized user experience. UGC is the most trusted form of content. As you can see here, when we interviewed consumers, we realized that 55% of consumers trust customer photos more than they trust brand photos. Furthermore, 63% of consumers we interviewed have postponed or decided against a purchase due to unhelpful product pictures. Now that we know UGC is a key component in the decision-making process for customer, let me show how your brand could access UGC at scale.
Consumer touchpoints emerge and evolve every day. Finding the right content for the right audience has gotten much more difficult. Today, for brands to succeed, they need to use authentic, contextual, personalized content that consumers can identify with. Olapic is the content engine that powers your consumer touchpoints. We collect and curate authentic images and videos of real people engaging with your brand. Our curation experts select the best content based on your brand guidelines, oftentimes from hundreds of thousands of visual assets. We then activate the top-rated content across your owned and paid channels, meeting your customers at each relevant touchpoint throughout their journey and building deeper levels of engagement along the way. With insights into interaction, conversion, revenue, and engagement, you can see how each piece of content is impacting your brand. Olapic is a comprehensive strategic partner that integrates seamlessly, grows with your business, and evolves with the industry. Inspire your audience and drive action with authentic, meaningful content.
Collection, curation, and activation of UGC can be as simple as what you have seen here. Now, when you are building your UGC omni-channel strategy, there are a couple of guidelines you should keep in mind to make it successful. First, listen to your consumers and understand who they are. Understand where they spend most of their time. A younger audience will, for example, not behave the same ways as an older one. In some countries, some channels are more used than other ones. Finally, what worked 6 months ago might not work today, so don't make assumptions. Stay close to the conversation with your consumers, whether that's on social or somewhere else. See where they are responding to most, what they are engaging with, what question are they asking. Second, look at the numbers. Review what content and which channel are driving clicks and conversion for your brand. Third, understand the behavior on each channel. You must consider placement and length based on what is typical behavior on the given channel. For example, if a user is scrolling through social media while waiting on the line for a cup of coffee, they are likely to consume short, bite-sized content, look at a photo, maybe watch a 10-second video ad. If a user is on a product page on your website, they are possibly in a more transactional mindset. They want to see more product information, understand its utility, or see how something is styled or used by real people. Finally, test and learn, especially with new devices, new formats, new channels, and take the learnings to optimize. Don't just set it and forget about it. Now that you have these guidelines in mind, let's take a look at how some brands incorporate UGC successfully into their strategy. NYX Professional Makeup, part of the Laura Group, is known for its color, creativity, and accessibility. The NYX community is a heavily engaged one, constantly sharing really rich content which is successfully incorporated into all facets of their content strategy. There are a few core elements that guide a NYX UGC strategy. First, the content they collect from consumers is more authentic. It's rich, it's diverse content, and very often professional looking. Secondly, they want it to be a truly transparent brand. They believe in representing the range of their customers, real consumers and beauty junkies, selling their products versus professional spokespeople. UGC is organic content which consumers naturally gravitate towards. The example above represents just a few of the channels where NYX uses their content: e-com, app, email, Instagram app, Note that they always keep a consistent story of authenticity and customer centricity. NYX has always remained extremely thoughtful about the experience they want to create, whether that's their digital in-store experiences or their mobile app. UGC was a key element where they relaunched their e-commerce site a few years ago and it's prevalent throughout. For example, when thinking about extending that story to an app, they wove in elements that really bring out a sense of community. UGC content is the first thing you see when you open the app, consistent with the other channels. And there are other features such as shoppable videos, previews, an exclusive promotion, and a personalized vault where a user can save favorite products, looks, videos, and more.
Right. So we did a relaunch of our website and a complete redesign in October 2015. And so a big part of that strategy when we're talking about design and talking about where we wanted the site to go, UGC was a big part of that conversation, and we knew we wanted to be front and center of the overall design strategy and the overall content strategy for the site. We recognize that we're a mass market brand, and so the approach to buying makeup is going to be a little bit different than, say, a prestige brand. It's going to be very much a self-service approach, and we wanted to be able to really encourage that exploration that somebody is able to walk into a store, say, and swatch a lipstick. How do we really translate that experience online? NYX is a really digital-focused brand. Our consumers are young, they're really digitally savvy. For the most part, consumer content or emails, browse the site on mobile devices. So how do we really optimize our site and our content, knowing all of that? And so we felt like the most organic way to do that was to highlight all of the UGC that we're getting. So it's highlighted really prominently across the site. It's center. On our homepage, it's featured on our PDP because we know it's an important part and aspect of kind of the consideration process. We know that for a consumer, if she's considering a lip color, she wants to know, is this going to look right on me? A way to be able to do that in stores, to be able to try it on. So how do we kind of translate that experience to a customer at home, whether she's on her phone or she's on her computer? And we felt like because we have all this content, that's really relevant to kind of that experience, to really highlight that. And so we have a whole kind of UGC focused section of our PDPs that highlights user reviews and user images. It's on our CLP. So if you're on a lips category page, for example, you see UGC images tagged with lips products. And so, we felt like it was a really important part of our strategy overall to really highlight all of these beautiful images, and they're so extremely colorful, and they grab the user's attention. We know that our users engage with it. We can see on the Olapic platform what converts and what doesn't, and so those get kind of bumped up to the front as well. And for completely selfish reasons, it's a way for us to keep the site looking really fresh without us having to go and create content and upload it manually all the time. I mean, it's a feed that lives and breathes, and so it's a way to kind of keep our content and our sites looking really fresh.
And the numbers show that NYX is doing something right. As a mass market brand, the approach to buying makeup is very much a self-service one, and so the premise of their e-com site is to encourage digital exploration, and the numbers show the impact that UGC has on that exploration. When users are interacting with UGC, the conversion rate increased by 320%, and the average order value by 93%. And here are additional examples of brands that did a great job at thinking about the user experience and the consumer behavior on their e-com website, whether it's on desktop or mobile. While most of the brand would redirect consumers from the inspiration to the product page, Matches Fashion went the extra mile and cut the step by directly providing the option to add the products to a shopping cart from the source of inspiration. The second example is Monkey. They understand that their consumer is spending a lot of their time browsing their website and mobile for inspiration, where they made sure to display a mobile-friendly UGC social wall on their website. Let's now cover another marketing channel, Email is a perfect canvas for UGC to generate even more UGC from consumers and to drive revenue. Charlotte Tilbury automatically import UGC in their newsletters. Here you see a dedicated UGC email where they explain to their customer how to share content. By showcasing some of their best UGC, they also implicitly provide guidelines for content creation. Where users go on Charlotte Tilbury website, they would also encounter the same type of content, creating a consistent yet authentic brand image. Similarly, Maison du Monde explains the concept of UGC on the top of their email and showcases images from their community to inspire their consumer base about Christmas decoration. They even went the extra mile by using animated GIFs, and I will talk more about the importance of animation later in this webinar. Bumble and Bumble is the next example and a great one for UGC being used in triggered email as a way to make the individualized email more personalized and drive more conversions. Bumble and Bumble regularly utilize email as a channel to promote social campaigns and incorporate a consumer's photos in a variety of marketing emails. They take advantage of email as a means to highlight the looks and lifestyles of their loyal fans. They were, however, looking to diversify the content in their trigger email campaigns, specifically their cart abandoned email, in a more automated way, in an effort to drive return traffic from shoppers who have shown purchase intent and ultimately drive conversions. By simply adjusting trigger campaign rules, Bumble and Bumble dynamically pulls in from Olapic platform rights-approved UGC associated with a product left in a shopping cart to complement the content featured in email. Within a couple of months of incorporating earned content to their emails, the brand saw an 89% higher conversion rate than emails without UGC and a 16% higher click rate than emails without UGC. Let's now talk about paid ads. Using UGC in social ads is a very natural fit, as the content is in its native environment. It's a cost-efficient way to diversify creative and minimize fatigue, use creative as more relevant and engaging, and drive results. Here you can see two brands leveraging the content in Facebook carousel ads. The vehicle use of a real person, the third picture, is so much more impactful than just the product shots. And with the Facebook algorithm, the photo was quickly moved to the first spot in the ad. Soap and Glory use a combination of UGC rather than pack shots on a white background in Facebook carousel ads, and these outperforms their regular ads. Our clients have seen similar results on Instagram feed ads as well, where engagement rates increased in multiples. And with its extraordinary growth, Instagram Stories is another channel where you can showcase consumer content to increase performance. We are particularly a fan of this Maison du Monde example, showcasing usage of Square UGC into a vertical Instagram story format. To highlight the performance of the content in ads, I would like to take you through a fun campaign that Magnum Ice Cream ran. Magnum Ice Cream had a pop-up store in London where people could create bespoke Magnum ice creams. They were sharing hashtag MagnumLDN in their stores and encouraging people to share their images. They collected 7,000 pieces of UGC in just 60 days. When creating ads, they ran a test of brand content against user-generated photos. And not only did the UGC outperform, but it followed Facebook creative guidelines better than the brand creative. To close the UGC chapter, I would like to recap some key takeaways for you to build a successful omnichannel UGC strategy. First, it is important to promote your hashtag and strategic places to encourage your consumer to share content with you to build your content database. Second, make sure to optimize the UGC user experience in a way that relates to your audience. For example, to make UGC easily discoverable, that the design is more mobile friendly and easy to shop with links to product. Third, make sure to leverage UGC in strategic channels. UGC on product pages, triggered emails, ads are great ways to boost your conversion. UGC and newsletters, social walls, or organic posts are great for engagement. Finally, in our current world where consumers expect to have a personalized conversation with brands, make sure that UGC user relates to that specific user. And the activation between Arto and Nostos will help you achieve that. Furthermore, animate your content as consumer, create for more videos. And this leads us nicely to the next chapter. We have just seen the impact that your everyday consumer can have by sharing their photos. But video is a hot topic, until recently not as easily accessible for brands. And as you know, the need for mobile video is skyrocketing. I took some stats from research that Facebook has done. The time spent watching video on Instagram increased by 80% in the last year. And smartphones is the #1 device used by users to watch videos on social media. More so, 42% of the people surveyed by Facebook plan to watch more online videos in the next year. If this doesn't convince you yet, well, Cisco predicted that 75% of mobile data consumed will be video by 2020. However, video is traditionally hard to produce. It's expensive, time-consuming, and resource-intensive, which leads to brands missing out on reaching audiences in certain markets, being unable to keep up with emerging channels and formats, suffering from the impact of creative fatigue, or unable to test and learn and iterate. What we also know is that the brands tend to have a lot more access to content, whether it's user-generated content, catalog photos, or product feed charts, similar to the ones you can see here on the screen. So what we do, we take content like this, as well as long-form videos such as a TV commercial or trailer, and we bring them to life. And this is what we call content in motion. So what is content in motion? Content in motion takes existing assets and turns them into dynamic short-form video through the use of on-brand templates. The templates uniquely designed for each individual brand are accessible within a self-service platform for creation of videos in minutes. So here is how it works. Brands can easily change the copy in the master template and generate new version of the video in a matter of minutes. This allows you to test and learn. For example, what wording works best for your brand. This allows you as well to generate very easily and at scale localized assets with local language. By dragging and dropping assets, whether it's video or images, you can generate new videos and create more personalized content as well. And furthermore, content in motion allows flexibility and easy creation of content for any type of ad format. You can even select your channel before starting your video creation to ensure the right specifications. Content in motion will soon support DPA by linking a product feed and auto-generated videos from the product images. Let me share with you the example of Aveda, a US hair care brand. They tested 4 content in motion videos in Facebook ads against static assets. Here you see the 2 static assets they use as a benchmark. And here are the 4 videos we helped Aveda to create following Facebook creative guidelines. You see that the video outperformed the images and generated 22% more sales than the stills alone. And beyond ads, content in motion can be used across any of your relevant channels. Here you see 2 examples, Galerie Lafayette using videos and blog, and also using video on their Amazon product pages. 2 more examples of content in motion activation. Airbnb uses it on their emails to bring them to life, a bit like the previous example we had with Maison du Monde. And Kimpton are using content in motion on the homepage. This ends up our chapter on video creation. Please feel free to ping any of your questions in the Q&A feature. To recap, here are the 4 tips we would like you to remember from Olapic's webinar. First, we would highly encourage you to break silos between channels. For a successful omni-channel UGC strategy, understand how your customer base is using your different channels. Don't hesitate to deep dive into each of your customer segments. Build then a coherent content approach across channels. By being across all the channels your customers are, you can enable better experience that you can increase the likelihood to purchase. Second, provide an authentic user experience to your consumers by leveraging UGC as part of your marketing mix. This is content that your consumer trusts more. Third, embrace new formats, such as videos, especially on social media. And this is the growing demand from your customers. Finally, social media is an ever-evolving space, so keep testing, learning what works from your brand, and reiterate. Thank you so much for your listening today.